From time immemorial, various religions of the world, including the Vedic traditions of India, proclaim that God manifests in human form on earth. This manifestation, for the upliftment of mankind, gives a special dispensation to suffering humanity and to redeem it from the ills that afflict it. History bears it out that such messiahs or Christs or avatars appear at periodic intervals. Thus, Zoroaster, Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad are all divine figureheads or saviors of the historical past of humanity. When God manifests on earth in the form of man and reveals his divinity to mankind, he is recognized as the avatar, the Messiah, the prophet. Thus God becomes man. In recent times, it was Meherabad who again strode the planet Earth to awaken humanity. He declared that he was the same ancient one who appears age after age when the wick of righteousness burns low to rekindle the torch of love and truth. Meherabad declared that he has not come to teach but to awaken. In 1953, in Dehradun, India, he stated,
"I do not interfere with any religion and permit all to follow their own creeds unhindered. When faced with love for God, these external ceremonies have no value. Love for God automatically and naturally results in self-denial, mental control, and ego annihilation, irrespective of the lover following or renouncing these external adoptions."
In 1941 and 1942, Meherabad travelled to Dehradun, a large town 300 kilometers north of Delhi, near the foothills of the Himalayas. He stayed there from April 10th to May 15th, 1941, and from June 30th to September 15th, 1942. Baba spent most of this time in seclusion, fasting, and travelling the general area contacting musts, those whose minds had become overpowered by their love for God. Later, in 1946, Baba returned to Dehradun for further must contacts. Baba again returned to Dehradun in January of 1950, during the phase of his life which he called his new life. He stayed on the outskirts of Dehradun at a place called Madra Mafi, with both his male and female disciples, or mandali. This house in Madra Mafi is where Baba stayed for 5 months during his new life. Baba slept in this small room and held meetings with the mandali in this outer room. The women mandali slept in the back rooms by the kitchen. Baba purchased the entire 6-acre land, including the well, which was Baba and the mandali's water supply. Baba stayed in Madra Mafi until June 1950, a period of 5 months, the longest single stay at any place during his new life phase. On February 15, 1953, Baba, with some of his men and women mandali, left Meherabad for Bombay, and then from Bombay to Dehradun by train. Baba, with the women mandali, stayed at a rented bungalow acquired by Kishan Singh, 105 Rajpur Road, and the men mandali stayed at Kishan Singh's own house at 107A Rajpur Road. Bhaushan Sharma, who was a 15-year-old boy at the time, recalls how Baba used to meet with the mandali and him at 107A Rajpur Road.
Baba used to sit here, and the chair was the chair for Baba. Baba used to sit here. His chief used to sit by his side here, and the Mandi people, Kishan Singh would sit there in the corner, and Dr. Donkin, then all the other Mandi members, Mandi people, they sit in a semicircle all around here, and I used to sit here on the floor. Everybody used to sit on the floor. I used to sit here. This was my permanent place.
I see.
I used to sit here.
After Baba arrived in Dehradun in 1953, he let it be known that he wished to be left undisturbed to do his work. But before leaving Dehradun, he would hold a public Darshan program to meet all those who were longing to see him. As it turned out, Baba gave 2 public Darshan programs before leaving Dehradun. The first was held on March 23, 1953, and the second was held on November 1st of that same year. On March 23rd, the public Darshan program was held at Kishan Singh's house at 107A Rajpur Road. Bal Kalchuri, one of Meher Baba's disciples, explains,
But first time, of course, on 23rd March, of course, he saw the people. So, in first Darshan program, it was in the place, a small place, where Kishan Singh was living. His quarters, and we were living in that quarter. So it was not only those who were very intimate, they came. And then, of course, then people came to know about Baba.
Baba saw people for 7 hours that day. When the darshan started at 8 a.m., Baba began using his alphabet board to address the visitors. Baba gave many messages that day to those who came seeking his darshan. One of these messages was to an atheist. To him, Baba dictated,
Everyone is an atheist till he finds God by actual experience. It is better to be an atheist and be honest in words and deeds than to pose as a lover of God and lead a dishonest life. God is independent. He needs no worship. He only needs that we be honest.
A group of college students came to see Baba. One of them said to Baba, Baba, I am a seeker of God. Baba replied,
Some seek money, some seek name, some seek power, some seek fame. Some want children, few want God. Life is a joke, and all is a game.
To one who had been recently deceived in his life, Baba dictated,
If people act dishonestly with us, if people create difficulties for us, if people deceive us and yet we remain honest, we are very fortunate, because these deceivers, or our so-called enemies, are our friends. They wash away our sins and weaknesses and make our path clear towards God. They do not deceive us. They help us and deceive themselves.
And to another group, Baba dictated,
We have to love God silently and honestly, even in our everyday life, whilst eating, drinking, talking, and doing all our duties. We can still love God continuously without letting anyone know. When God is found, you have no idea what infinite bliss and peace is experienced. I give you my love so that someday you can love God as He ought to be loved.
Baba saw people for 7 hours that day, and the Darshan program ended at 6 p.m. Baba then continued with his must work and seclusion work. On July 5th, an interesting story took place. It began to rain heavily, and a man, soaked to the skin, entered the gate of 101 Rajpur Road and stopped in front of the house with an inquiring look on his face. Kishan Singh came out and learned that the person was Dr. Hakumat Rai Kapil. He had read Baba's books and was ardently seeking Baba's darshan. Kishan Singh sent him away as Baba was not seeing anyone. And he walked away as the rain mingled with his tears. Baba asked Kishan who was outside, and Kishan told Baba, and Baba told him to hurry and bring him back. Kapil was brought before Baba. Finding him standing in wet clothes, Baba expressed his concern that his visitor might catch a chill and asked Kishan Singh to find him some dry clothes. Baba asked Kapil,
What do you want?
Kapil replied, I want to learn yoga.
Well, as I am not a yogi, you had better go to someone else. Why do you want to learn yoga?
Kapil replied, For God realization. Some of those present smiled when they heard this. Baba looked pleased and asked if Kapil was willing to give up both his yoga and ascetic practices and let Baba guide him to his goal of God realization. And added,
But know that if you decide to follow me, you will have to obey me implicitly.
Kapil answered, I will do whatever you say.
In your efforts to be one with God, by practicing yoga, you will be lowering your objective. How to inhale, how to meditate, what posture to assume. These are all exercises. God wishes that we attain Him most naturally in our day-to-day life. It does not need meditation. Numerous yogis and swamis in the world are still unaware of God. They follow the path of meditation, yoga, pranayama, and guide others in how to do other spiritual practices. Instead of emancipating, these bind the seekers more. You want freedom, but all these things create more bondage. If you truly and sincerely wish to realize God, you should be ready to sacrifice your life for Him. Are you ready to die for Him?
I am prepared, and whatever you instruct me I will carry out.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Do you love your wife?
Not really. I fear she might be an impediment on my journey to God.
Does your wife love you?
I am sure she does.
Isn't it wonderful that your wife loves you, but you don't love her because of your selfishness? All past Sadhgurus never advised seekers to assume a certain posture and sit in meditation. They taught them to love God and obey their master. But this is extremely difficult. Compared to it, a yogic life of discipline is easy. Meditation is good, as it silences the mind. But to attain God, one must die for Him. Now of these two, choose one, either a disciplined life or God realization. For the latter, you will have to follow me 100%. If you do that, I will bow to you,
Hakumat Rai said, "If I cannot realize God, I do not want the life of discipline. My sole aim is to attain God."
Here are some orders for you to follow. Listen carefully. You should not change your dress. You should wear normal clothes. By wearing such clothes, a seeker goes down in spirituality instead of going higher. People think that he is some saint or Mahatma, which actually he is not. Leave hypocrisy. Love your wife. Leave everything and come to me when I ask you.
Baba then gave him further instructions and he left, walking back 15 miles in the rain. Hakumat Rai delayed in carrying out Baba's instructions until one night Baba's face appeared to him at night and startled him. The next day he began the work of obeying Baba's orders and when completed, informed Baba about it in a long letter. When his letter was read aloud to Baba, Baba remarked, "I want such men for my work," and sent a reply to Kapil, "I am happy with your love. Remember me more and more." Bal Kalchuri joined Baba in Missouri in July of 1953, 1 month prior to Meher Baba giving to the world his universal prayer, also known as the Master's Prayer and the Pravadagar Prayer. Bao narrates the events that preceded Baba's issuing of his prayer.
When Baba was in seclusion, what he was doing there. So at night, 12 midnight, he would just go to the mosque, to the church, to the temple, and to Gurdwara, Sikh. So everywhere he would go at night, 12 midnight he would start. And of course, when he would go to church, Dr. Duncan was with Baba, so he would recite Christian prayer. And then Baba would bow down to him, and then he would go to mosque. When he would go to mosque, then of course, Aloha, he would recite Muslim prayer. And then Baba would bow down to him, and then he would go to temple. When he would go to temple, then of course our Vishnu and Dr. Neelu, they would 10 avatars. One book prayer was there on 10 avatars. So he would recite, they would recite this, and then Baba would bow down to them. And then Gurudwara that is Sikh. So G.S.N was there. He would recite this prayer in Gurumukhi, their language, and then Baba bowed down to him. And by 6 o'clock, Baba would return. So for 40 days continuously he did. And then after completing this for 40 days, the last day, Baba gave this Master's Prayer. Master's Prayer, after this, going through all this, and then Baba said, "This is the prayer for the world."
This prayer was recited in Baba's presence every day during Baba's intense spiritual work of 21 days from August 13th to September 2nd, 1953. It is now recited daily by his lovers everywhere and twice daily at his tomb shrine at Meherabad, India.
And without end, non-dual, beyond comparison, and that can measure you. You are without color, without expression, without form, and without attributes. You are unlimited and unfathomable, beyond imagination and conception, eternal and imperishable. You are indivisible, and none can see you but with eyes divine. You always were, you always are, and you always will be. You are everywhere, you are in everything, and you are also beyond everywhere and beyond everything. You are in the firmament and in the depths. You are manifest and unmanifest, on all planes and beyond all planes. You are in the three worlds and also beyond the three worlds. You are imperceptible and independent. You are the Creator, the Lord of Lords, the knower of all minds and hearts. You are omnipotent and omnipresent. You are knowledge infinite, power infinite, and bliss infinite. You are the ocean of knowledge, all-knowing, infinitely knowing, the knower of the past, the present, and the future, and you are knowledge itself. You are all merciful and eternally benevolent. You are the soul of souls, the one with infinite attributes. You are the Trinity of truth, knowledge, and bliss. You are the source of truth, the ocean of love. You are the Ancient One, the highest of the high. You are Prabhu and Parmeshwar. You are the Beyond God, and the Beyond God also. You are Parabrahma, Allah, Ilahi, G.S.N, Ahura Mazda. You are named Isa, the only one worthy of worship.
According to the Parsi calendar, September 7th, 1953 was Zoroaster's birthday. On this occasion, Baba stated,
Zoroaster gave to the world the essence of true living in the form of three fundamental precepts: good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. These precepts were and are revealed to humanity in one form or another, directly or indirectly, by the avatar each time he comes. To put these precepts into practice is not as easily done as it might appear, although it is not impossible.
On this same day, September 7th, Meherabad issued one of his most profound messages entitled The Highest of the High. Balkalchuri gives a background story to illustrate what preceded Meherabad dictating this great declaration.
Another thing happened there. And what was that? That there was one person, his name was Saban, and his wife was in mental asylum for various about 15 years. And afterwards he brought her back, and she was still mentally very disturbed. So then, of course, he approached Kishan Singh. Kishan Singh comes to Baba, and Baba says, he is a very good person, Baba, he wants to see you. Baba said, I told you that before I leave Dehradun, of course I will meet everyone. So why do you bring all this? And of course he says that Baba, he is very genuine, very good person, and you will feel happy. I said, all right, call him. So he was called. He comes to Baba, and Baba says, what do you want? He says, Baba, my wife is mentally deranged, and I am really very much shocked, and I cannot do anything. My mind remains with her all the time, I go to office, but my work, of course, I cannot do properly. Please just help her. Baba says, will you do whatever I say? He says, yes, of course. Baba says, simple thing I tell you. But you must do 100% wholeheartedly. Yes, yes, I will do. Baba said, do one thing. With your wife from tomorrow onwards, start just Baba, Baba, Baba. Even if she goes to toilet, somebody should stand there. It is not that one person. Just Baba, Baba, she should hear continuously anyone. 4%, 5%, 10%. I have no objection for that. But just say Baba, Baba. And after 40 days come to me. Will you do it? Yes, I will do it. He went back. He went back. And after 3 days, Baba sent Dr. Nilu to see whether he is doing that. So Dr. Nilu went to his home and he says that, did you start this? He says, no. No. You gave promise to Baba and you did not. I cannot believe in such thing. But then why did you come to Baba? Why did you come? He said, that was my mistake, but I don't believe in such a thing. So Dr. Nilu comes and tells Baba. And Baba says, go and tell him again that he should just do it and see what happens. Dr. Nilu again goes to them. And that man, his name was Sagal. And he says, I told you, I cannot have any belief in such a thing. I will not do it. Tell Baba that I'm not supposed to do it. I'm not going to follow. And he came back. When he came back, Baba said, what to do? This happens. People want something. When I want them to do something, they don't. They don't. Then he gave that highest of the high. That message was given highest of the high because of this struggle. So that message, highest of the high, very important message Baba has given. He has made it very clear. I am neither saint nor Mahatma or any Wali or Peer. I am highest of the high.
An excerpt from the highest of the high follows.
The avatar is always one and the same, because God is always one and the same. The eternal, indivisible, infinite one who manifests himself in the form of man as the avatar, as the Messiah, as the prophet, as the ancient one, the highest of the high. This eternally one and the same avatar repeats his manifestation from time to time, in different cycles, adopting different human forms and different names, in different places to reveal truth in different garbs and different languages, in order to raise humanity from the pit of ignorance and help free it from the bondage of delusions. In the world there are countless sadhus, mahatmas, mahapurushas, saints, yogis, and walis, though the number of genuine ones is very, very limited. The few genuine ones are, according to their spiritual status, in a category of their own, which is neither on a level with the ordinary human being, nor on a level with the state of the highest of the high. I am neither a Mahatma nor a Mahapurush, neither sadhu nor saint, neither a yogi nor a wali. Those who approach me with the desire to gain wealth or to retain their possessions, those who seek through me relief from distress and suffering, those who ask my help to fulfill and satisfy mundane desires, to them I once again declare that as I am not a sadhu, a saint, or a Mahatma, Mahapurush or yogi, to seek these things through me is but to court utter disappointment, though only apparently, for eventually this disappointment is itself invariably instrumental in bringing about the complete transformation of mundane wants and desires. Now, if I am just an ordinary man, my capabilities and powers are limited. I am no better or different from an ordinary human being. If people take me as such, then they should not expect any supernatural help from me in the form of miracles or spiritual guidance. And to approach me to fulfill their desires would also be absolutely futile. On the other hand, if I am beyond the level of an ordinary human being, and much beyond the level of saints and yogis, then I must be the highest of the high. In which case, to judge me with your human intellect and limited mind, and to approach me with mundane desires would not only be the height of folly, but sheer ignorance as well, because no amount of intellectual gymnastics could ever understand my ways or judge my infinite state. If I am the highest of the high, my will is law, my wish governs the law, and my love sustains the universe. Whatever your apparent calamities and transient sufferings, they are but the outcome of my love for the ultimate good. Therefore, to approach me for deliverance from your predicaments, to expect me to satisfy your worldly desires, would be asking me to do the impossible, to undo what I have already ordained. Know you all that if I am the highest of the high, my role demands that I strip you of all your possessions and wants, consume all your desires, and make you desireless rather than satisfy your desires. Sadhus, saints, yogis, and walis can give you what you want, but I take away your wants and free you from the attachments and liberate you from the bondage of ignorance. I am the one to take, not the one to give you what you want or as you want. I declare to all who approach me, and to those of you who desire to approach me, accepting me as the highest of the high, that you must never come with the desire in your heart which craves for wealth and worldly gain, but only with the fervent longing to give your all, body, mind, and possessions, with all their attachments. Seek me not to extricate you from your predicaments, but find me in order to surrender yourself wholeheartedly to my will. Cling to me not for worldly happiness and short-lived comforts, but adhere to me through thick and thin, sacrificing your own happiness and comforts at my feet. Let my happiness be your cheer and my comforts your rest. Do not ask me to bless you with a good job, but desire to serve me more diligently and honestly without expectation of reward. Never beg of me to save your life or the lives of your dear ones, but beg of me to accept you and permit you to lay down your life for me. Never expect me to cure you of your bodily afflictions, but beseech me to cure you of your ignorance. Never stretch out your hands to receive anything from me, but hold them high in praise of me, whom you have approached as the highest of the high.
Baba's stay at Dehra Dun was coming to a close, and he began making plans to go to Mahabaleshwar in Maharashtra. Before leaving, at the request of old and new Baba lovers in the area, he agreed to give his second Darshan program of that year on the first day of November. This second Darshan was held at 101 Rajpur Road, and an awning was erected in front of the house in anticipation of the crowd that would arrive. Pendu, one of Baba's Mandali, was placed in charge of the arrangements for this Darshan, and he allocated different duties to the Mandali and other Baba lovers from the Dehra Dun area. Bao and Krishna were given the duty of handing out Baba's printed messages to the visitors. Neelu was to keep Prasad ready for Baba to distribute. Erich was to read Baba's alphabet board and interpret his gestures. Keki Nalavala managed a stall of Baba's books and pictures for those curious to read about Baba and his messages. The Darshan began at 8 a.m. and Baba began seeing people in his Darshan room inside the bungalow. Baba scheduled to see people individually from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and again from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Inside, people were entering Baba's room. Outside, Prakashwati Shama and Balkrishna Bakshi were entertaining the gathering crowds under the awning with kirtan or devotional singing. At 9:30 a.m., as the number of people increased outside, Baba agreed to break from his darshan room and come outside to greet them. An excitement surged through the crowd as Baba sat amongst them. Baba then returned to his room to resume his individual contacts. After breaking for lunch, Baba resumed darshan at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, an hour earlier than scheduled. Many people streamed in and then out of his room, including a man who last met Baba on a train in 1929, and a group of the blind from a local institution whom Baba told that to see him as he really is didn't require physical sight. Owing to the pressure of the gathering crowd, Baba once again agreed to come outside and greet them. He took his seat under the awning, and as the crowds became quiet, Baba dictated the following message.
God is equally within us all, and we must love Him. When we realize Him, all our suffering comes to an end. And for this, we must love Him in every walk of life. Love for God is best expressed when we give happiness to others at the cost of our own happiness. My blessings.
Upon returning to his room, a group of children from a nearby school whose principal met Baba during his new life and was now a Baba lover, arrived carrying an enormous garland to crown Baba with. Baba appeared delighted by the children as they wrapped the garland around and around Baba's head before leaving. In response to the longing of the people gathered under the awning, Baba left his room again. This time, Baba dictated this message.
Rich or poor, great or small, man or women, everyone is under the spell of some sort of suffering. The relief for every kind of suffering is within ourselves. If we try to live honestly, act honestly, think honestly, in every walk of life, under all circumstances, and if we try to put our wholehearted faith in God, that relief is found. We are already the possessors of infinite power and happiness. But it is our way of life that keeps us from enjoying the eternal treasures of God.
Then Baba returned to his room to resume his distribution of Prasad. At 5 p.m. it was announced that Baba would not see anyone after the scheduled closing time of 6 p.m. This intensified the atmosphere of expectation of those wanting to see Baba. It became obvious that not everyone would be able to see Baba individually. So, just prior to closing time, Baba stopped giving individual contacts and went outside so that everyone could see him. Upon his arrival, the atmosphere was charged with his presence. The divine radiance on his face and his divine presence was felt amongst all those who had come to be amongst God in human form, the highest of the high. The crowd was again reminded that Baba would be leaving very shortly, and the atmosphere intensified. A couple of weeks prior to the Darshan, Baba dictated and had printed 2 messages for the public to read. Baba's message, Playing with Illusions, was then gracefully shared with the souls gathered there.
I appreciate the faith which has brought you here. I also appreciate your love and devotion. It has made me very happy. I know and understand your difficulties and problems, sufferings and expectations. Not only individuals, but the whole world is in the throes of suffering. When suffering comes, it comes according to the divinely established law of karma. It must then be accepted with grace and fortitude. But it must be remembered that your actions are the cause of much of your suffering. Through wise action, suffering can be minimized. What humanity needs is spiritual wisdom. For this, it must inevitably turn to the perfect masters and the avatar. Suffering comes through ignorance or attachment to illusions. Most people play with illusions like children play with toys. If you get caught up in the ephemeral things of this world and cling to illusory values, suffering is inevitable. It is not easy for little children to give up their toys, for they become the victims of a habit which they cannot undo. In the same way, through millions of lives, you have got into the habit of playing with illusions. It is difficult for you to get disentangled from them. For ages and ages, the Atma has been seeing its own shadow and getting engrossed in the illusory world of forms. It gets addicted to the spectacle of its own creation and desires to see it through cycles and cycles of creation. When the soul turns inward and longs to have self-knowledge, it has become spiritually minded. But even there, this habit of wanting to see some spectacle persists for several lives. The soul wants to experience some miracles or spectacular phenomena, or in the more advanced stages, it wants to perform miracles and manipulate phenomena. Even spiritually advanced persons find it difficult to outgrow this habit of playing with illusions. Persistent attachment to miracles is only a further continuation of the habit of playing with illusions. It is not miracles but understanding which can bring you true freedom. If you have firm faith and unfaltering love for the God-man, your way to the abiding truth is clear and safe. Then you have no time to waste in playing with things that do not matter. Be guided by love and truth. This is the simple way that leads to God. Not by endless maneuvering of alluring illusions, but by loyalty to the unchangeable truth can you hope to be established in abiding peace. When I speak, it will be only one divine word, but it will be the word of words or the manifestation of truth. This word will have to be hearkened to by the heart and not merely by the mind. It will go home to you and bring you the awakening. My love and blessings.